Nancy Mace, the congresswoman from South Carolina, has an idea to crack down on this type of activity, maybe take some of the goodies and benefits away. Take a look at this.
We ought to defund these Ivy League colleges, these schools where these students are desecrating the American flag, disrespecting the American flag, desecrating college campuses because they hate America and they hate Jews. These are Jew haters. These are terrorist-loving Jew haters, gender studies students who hate our country, and they ought to be defunded. They shouldn't have their student loans forgiven. We should reverse what Joe Biden announced in the last couple of weeks, that taxpayers are going to pay their student loans off. This shouldn't be happening.
Interesting angle on that. Bill Cassidy, the Louisiana senator, kind enough to join us. What do you think of that, Senator?
I think it's a great idea. When you look at the woman who was the spokesperson for those in Colombia, Miss King Slutsky, I had to write down what her thesis is. Transatlantic romantic imagination from 760 to 1780 or 1860. Now imagine, there's a guy driving a truck in Louisiana who either paid back his student loans or never went to college, and she will be a candidate to have her student loans forgiven. Because no one thinks she's going to get a decent job with that. But I'm told Columbia charges $50,000 a year for tuition for graduate school. If that's the case, Columbia's making money. My guy is the one paying the bill. That's wrong. We should stop it.
Senator, how do you feel about this measure that passed overwhelmingly in the House yesterday, the anti-Semitism measure here that had bipartisan support? I know they're waiting to cue it off in the Senate. How do you feel about it?
I think that's a great thing. If we have to send a message from Congress that anti-Semitism is not to be tolerated, then by golly, we should send that. And make no mistake, some think that this is only violence in Gaza. No, it clearly bleeds over into anti-Semitism. By the way, that's the reason that I'm advocating that the Health, Education, Labor, Pension Committee, upon which I'm the lead Republican, hold a hearing. I've asked Chairman Bernie Sanders to hold that. We need to hold it to see what the schools are doing, to see what the Office of Civil Rights is doing, to see what this administration is doing.
Where do you stand right now on defunding some of these campuses, those that get federal support? It could be a slippery slope. Even those who say, it probably warranted in some of these extreme cases, but a lot of good institutions could get caught up in that. How do you feel?
Well, I think a less slippery slope are some of these 501c3s that are actually helping the protesters, organizing them, giving them assets. Now, that is wrong. You're a charity, you're a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, and you are fomenting protests like this, which are turning violent and which are anti-Semitic, filled with hate speech. That is no slippery slope there. We should have a hearing on that, and we should shut down their 501c3 status.
You know, Senator, real quickly, we're showing the outside of the White House right now. Another pro-Palestinian protest, this one about sending arms to Israel, that should stop. We've learned from Benjamin Netanyahu that no matter a deal potentially in the works of Hamas and all this stuff going on globally with these protests, he is still on for a strike in Rafah. So I imagine that is going to agitate things all the more with this crowd. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that if Hamas is serious about wanting to help the Palestinian people, they should allow all the people in Rafah to move out of harm's way. And it should be an army, it should be a battle between Rafah's brigades, Hamas's brigades, and the Israelis. They are using those Palestinians as human shields and to get international sympathy. It is a ploy which is sacrificing the Palestinian people. First they are responsible for the death of the Israelis. Now they're responsible for the death of Palestinians. Hamas has got to go.
Senator Cassidy, always an honor to speak to you. Thank you very much.